So, something a bit different for a sanctuary build this time. I've been using the Sim Settlements mod, and I just thought I'd show off a little bit of what I've done and where some of the little snags and hitches you might run into if you try and use it might come up. So first of all, it's sort of like a SimCity style of a settlement mod. You zone areas like this one for residential or industrial or commercial, and then these structures sort of appear out of nowhere. The settlers have to build them up, and you don't actually pick what gets built. They pick for you, and they can build an inside and have little belongings scattered around the place. And over time, as you fulfill their needs, like in normal SimCity, you get improvements. So you might start out with something simple, like a little metal shack here, or you might start out with just the lower level of this settlement building, and then later they'll add a second story which has a lovely little couch you can sit on and some beers. After a while, you're probably going to want to start building some farms, which is another thing this has. This one, I'm actually not sure what that is, but you can look at the little plaques on them. It's a razor green mud farm. Over time, you start out with just a couple of little sprouts of razor green, and as it gets upgraded, you get a scarecrow. And if you get upgraded enough, then you get a water pump. This one was carrots to start with, and it's grown and grown, and now you've got water coming out. Doesn't look too good. They must be boiling it before they use it on the carrots. That probably makes sense. Anyway, this one is an industrial zone. It starts out as more of just a pile of scrap on the ground. I can show you one that hasn't been upgraded yet. This is sort of what it starts like, just a random pile of scrap that your settlers can pick through and find different bits and bobs for you, like a normal scavenging station in the base game. But over time, as they get better and better, and you feed them enough and give them enough water and have enough security around the place, they can upgrade, and you get this wonderful little shack, which has an eyebot up the top. I haven't seen that before. That's one of the things that changes over time. Like in this place, it won't always be a little corn and a squirrel bites and a Nuka-Cola Quantum on that table. You might find a Deathclaw egg, or might find some sugar bombs like we're over here. And when it eventually upgrades, the shack will have a door on it instead, like this one, which does have a door on it. It has a gaping big hole in the side, but that's okay. And it has a proper bed in there now rather than just that. And same thing happens with the commercial buildings like this one. This is the medic shop. It's supposed to have Marcy Long in here, but she doesn't seem to be working at the moment. You can buy all the normal sort of medical goods. Oh, there she is. And you can trade with her. It has all the usual stuff in there that you would expect from a medical store, but it has a door on it instead of just the crappy little stand that you normally get. Here's another upgraded house. Originally there was just a little table inside like some of the other houses, but now he's got a full chest of drawers and a sort of nice bed. It's got a few stains on it, but that's probably better than what he had. And he's got various supplies along there. And I know it's a guy because it's this guy next door. If you turn on the workshop menu, you can actually see that the house in the background, the lot is highlighted, which means that settler belongs to that house, and so only he's allowed in there, rather than just any old settler coming in to sleep in his bed. And the farm plot is also highlighted because that's where he works. Because unlike in the base game, they can actually be assigned a job and they'll stay doing that job forever. Or you can reassign them to something else. But you can also assign them a living space. rather than just having them sleep wherever they want. It's not just farming plots though. There's an add-on mod that you can get which lets you farm radroaches. These are all picked randomly when you build a agricultural plot, but I built quite a few of them so I could get the little radroaches running around down there. Here's another little farm. I don't think it has any corn. No, I must have already harvested it. And again, I've got this guy, this ghoul, farming here, and he lives next door, which is actually the third tier of housing, because that tire wasn't there when it was just level 2. And he's got a much nicer bed, and a picture of a kitty. And if you go upstairs, he also has a couch to sit on. But because I didn't know at the time when I was building the residential spot, you have to hook the residential plots up to power, and I didn't know that it could do a second story. So now there's an electrical wire running right through his house, which is probably not ideal, but he never seems to go up there, so it's probably fine. Of course, I had to put Mama Murphy somewhere preferably that she didn't keep bothering me for drugs. So she's off over here, farming some more razor grain, and she has a nice little hut. She just has the mattress on the floor as well, though this is a level 2 house, so she probably should have a better bed than that, but she's old, she can deal with it. Next is the sort of commercial district that I set up after the initial one didn't really go so well. There's just two more houses here. They just have mattresses. They are recent additions, so they haven't been upgraded yet. We have the supplies store, which does actually have a settler in it. I thought it was unoccupied, but it just has random bits of scrap that you can trade for, and just like a normal junkyard type dealer. Or you can go next door to the armor vendor, and while there's all these metal armors and power armor in the display case, he doesn't necessarily have all those things. Yeah, see, there's no power armor in his stock, so this is more just decoration, which makes it look more like a shop and less like some random stall out in the wilderness, which I think looks quite a bit nicer. And if you go next door, pretty sure this one isn't occupied. Yeah, this was a clothing store, and I can craft clothing with my workbench, so I haven't actually staffed this. As you can see, mannequins, and I think sometimes they wear clothes. I don't know. I'm sure I saw them wearing clothes before. You get shoes and shirts. Next, another 2-story house. I think this is the 3rd tier one now. It has a nice little dining table and some booze, a little corner seat. If you go upstairs, there's beds up here instead of downstairs. He's got a little that, and you can go, that's another one of those sort of boxy capsule buildings. And this is the area where I tried to actually set it up sort of properly, because what you can do is you can build directly on the dirt or on the road like I've done here, but what tends to happen then is if you haven't got it perfectly lined up, if you can see that signifies the entrance to the plot, but if you walk into it, you can't actually get into the plot like that because it's not set up properly. If you sort of wiggle around it a little bit, you can get in eventually, but that's not really ideal. And the same thing happens when you try to get into the bar. You can't quite get up there. If you come this way, you can. So what I did was built a full-on platform which is all the shack foundations stacked up on top of what's normally a scrapped house. And got a nice little street light in there. And this is where we have, I think, that's a house, that's right. And next door is the weapon shop, which also has lots of decorations. You got all these weapons. Oh, that's the sledgehammer. And some random helmets and pistol display case. Normally Sturgis is in there manning the shop, but as it's gone night time, I guess he's knocked off for the day. If you look in this one hasn't upgraded, and it's been here for quite a while. I'm not sure what's going on there, but he has quite a few bits and bobs. And this is when I found out that when you build on flat land, they can also build these stilted houses, which are rather nice, but you do have to probably set down a foundation for them so you don't run into problems getting in and out of them. I think that's about it. Yeah, I've actually shown off everything now. Yeah, so the mod is called Sim Settlements, and I'll have links to it in the bottom, and a link to, oh dear, one of the rad roaches has died. Anyway, a link to the extra farm animals mod. And yeah, I'll probably have another settlement build up sometime soon, because I'm kind of sick of sim settlements now, and I would like to move on to something proper. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.